Next, we have The Wizard of Oz. Though I know many of you have seen The Wizard of Oz already, I will start by giving you a short summary on what happens. So The Wizard of Oz is about a young girl named Dorothy who lives in Kansas City with her family. Dorothy ends up getting swept into a tornado, and through this she enters Oz. When she lands in her house, she ends up killing the Wicked Witch of the West, causing the Munchkins to rejoice, but her sister, the Wicked Witch of the West, to get very angry. Glinda the Good Witch gives Dorothy magical red ruby slippers to protect her from the Wicked Witch, and tells her to follow the yellow brick road on her way to the Wizard of Oz to try to get home. On the way, Dorothy meets a scarecrow in need of a brain, a tin man in need of a heart, and a lion in need of courage. Together, they will go to the wizard and stop the Wicked Witch of the West. Finally, Dorothy is able to get home and be surrounded by her family. Next, I have some basic facts about The Wizard of Oz. The movie came out in 1939 and was very popular because it was the first full unanimated film to be in color. This was able to happen thanks to the Technicolor Motion Picture Corporation, formed in Boston in 1914. Though this movie was popular, it only made $3,017,000 on a $2,777,000 budget. This most likely occurred because it was released in the Great Depression, and many people simply didn't have the time or money to see a film. Lastly, I think what we all remember about The Wizard of Oz is the most popular song then and now, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. This song was nominated for 3 Academy Awards and won 2 of them. The whole show had a total of 8 wins and 11 nominations. Next, I have the cast list. And one thing I just wanted to point out about this is they originally had Buddy Esbin as the Tin Man. However, after 10 days of filming, he had a terrible allergic reaction to the tin powder on his face, and he was hospitalized and unable to do the show. So next I was going to show you a video clip of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but we couldn't really get it to work, so I'm just going to kind of describe what my point was going to be. So it really does sum up the Great Depression perfectly, and some of the lyrics include, "And the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true," which obviously relates to the Great Depression and how dreams weren't really coming true at the time, and they were hoping for a better future. And another one is, "Where troubles melt like lemon drops," and obviously, again, they wanted their problems to be behind them and good times to be in the future. Some more ways of how the Great Depression connects to The Wizard of Oz were... ah! Next, I have some more connections to the Great Depression. So, some people think that The Wizard of Oz can connect to the Great Depression because it started out in peaceful Kansas City, then the whirling confusion kicked in when the tornado occurred. Also, the Scarecrow could be thought of as the farmers' problems at the time. Also, songs like "We're Off to See the Wizard" relates to America's search for a solution to the Great Depression, as does "Somewhere Over the Rainbow," as discussed on the slide previously. I believe that The Wizard of Oz had a positive influence on the population in the 1930s. One effect it had on people was gender role change. Most movies before this time and today really haven't had any powerful women leaders. However, in The Wizard of Oz there are no real male leads. The 3 powerful characters are Dorothy, a female child, Glinda, and the Wicked Witch of the West. Even the so-called all-powerful wizard turns out to be a fraud. This could also relate to the fact that at this time there were no big strong male heroes to save America from the Great Depression. Another huge part of this movie was the fact that people in the Great Depression were not very optimistic. Through everything that happens, Dorothy discovers that she had the ability to go home the entire time, and the Scarecrow had a brain, and the Tin Man had a heart, and the Lion had courage. They just needed to find it within themselves. This gave hope to the American people, and the optimism that they could get back on their feet too.